everyone, welcome back to my channel. Adventures with Fibro here, aka Dina. I am a 40-year-old living downtown Toronto with my rescue cat Chloe, who is watching me right now. Hi baby. I have fibromyalgia, PTSD, and we're going through seeing if I actually have asthma now. That's a whole process. I went to Peru this summer for 3 weeks with 3 of my best friends, and it was a 40th birthday present for 3 of us. And I've been taking you on this journey, and it is time for our last Peru video. And I think I've been putting it off a little bit because frankly, I don't want to stop talking about it. Even though this was back in August, I had such an incredible time that I don't want to stop telling you about it. But here we are, it is time. So far, we landed in Lima, my luggage got stolen. We went to Paracas, Huacachina, we flew to Cusco, we hiked the Inca Trail for 4 days, explored Machu Picchu, and then we flew to the Amazon, to the rainforest, where we explored in an eco lodge for 3 nights, spent the night, an extra night out there, and now it's the last 3 days. So we, pretty early in the morning, flew back to Lima. The first time we went to Lima, we spent our first 3 nights in Lima, and the first 3 nights that we spent in Lima, we spent in Miraflores. There are 2, maybe 3 districts in Lima that are safe for tourists. So Miraflores and Barranco, and there may be one more that's like comfortable and safe for tourists, but those are like the 2 hot spots. The first time we went, we spent our time in Miraflores, which was fine. It's a nice district, but I fell in love with Barranco. So we had a private car pick us up and drive us to Barranco. Barranco and Miraflores are about an hour from the airport. I wouldn't recommend taking public transit, and you really shouldn't take taxis in Lima. Ubers are pretty safe, but I feel like should be taken in groups more so. But we ended up booking a private car. When we were first there in Miraflores, we spent the couple of nights there in an Airbnb, and they were actually very, very helpful in helping us book these private cars for like the rest of our trip. So they were a really great resource, and yeah, the people there were very, very helpful. So we drove into Barranco. Barranco is very special. It's kind of like it's its own little, it's very different from the rest of Lima. I'll put it that way. Barranco itself started as a little fishing village and eventually became it's very bohemian. It's where like all of the leading musicians and designers and artists in Lima live. And it's just super bohemian. There are all of these beautiful old mansions in like a colonial style, a kind of Spanish colonial style. And it's so romantic, and just the only word to describe it is bohemian. And you'll see what I mean when I start showing you the pictures. It is covered in artwork, and like graffiti artists have been asked to do murals and things like this. We stayed at the Ancestral Barranco. It's a hostel, and we were able to get a room it was just the 3 of us now. One of our friends had flown back already before the Amazon. So it was just myself, Patricia, and Shannon at this point. And we were able to get a really great room with like a decent sized bed and then a bunk bed. The hostel itself was beautiful. I wish I had taken more videos around it, but it was absolutely gorgeous. Again, very bohemian. There was a rooftop bar that you could go to. There was a kitchen that you could use, lots of showers, lots of washrooms, obviously shared with the rest of the group or the rest of the hostel, but really, really beautiful. And I 100% would stay there again if and when I go back to Barranco. Like I say, I absolutely fell in love with Barranco. The word Barranco actually comes from the Spanish word for ravine, and there are 2 ravines that are in the area that is known as Barranco in Lima. And due to kind of the hills in the area, Barranco has its own little microclimate. So it's actually drier and warmer in Barranco than it is in the rest of Lima, because the hills that surround Barranco actually keep it warm and protected from the southern like biting cold winds that come up and through. So it's really special. There's all of these flowers everywhere, and oh, it's beautiful. One of the most special places we went was known at, is called, and forgive me because my Spanish is not great and I'm gonna read this, the Bajada de los Baños. It's built in one of the ravines, and there's all of these shanties that kind of built up around it, and it just has so much street art, tons of little bars and pubs and like live music coming out and art galleries, and very, very special. It's a very, very special place, and I felt incredibly safe. Miraflores, I felt okay. I wasn't uncomfortable, but there's something very special and very safe feeling in Barranco specifically. Within Barranco, there is also the Bridge of Sighs, which is a bridge that was inaugurated on February 14th, 1876. It's this beautiful bridge, and they say that if you are a couple and you're there with the couple, if you kiss in the middle of the bridge, then you will be together forever. If you hold your breath as you walk across the bridge and you're able to make it from one side to the other side, holding your breath and make a wish, your wish will come true. Mine did. I'm just saying. And no, I will not tell you what it was, but it came true the very next day for me. So that was pretty cool. And then this ravine where the Bridge of Sighs is and everything will take you actually down to the beach if that's where you want to go. And Barranco Beach is really great for swimming apparently in the summer months. We obviously were there in the winter months. In the southern hemisphere, I'm sure you know, is opposite seasons to the northern hemisphere. So we went in our summer, which ended up being their winter. You can also surf down there as well, which is very cool. So our private car picked us up at the airport and took us to the hostel. Pretty much right away, we went just a couple of doors over to a coffee shop slash, it has a lot of breakfast foods, but it also had churros. And the couple that we hiked with on the Inca Trail told us about this place, and they were raving about the churros. So then I can't eat churros because I'm gluten-free, but the girls were just like, we have to get the churros. So that was the first thing we did. Hey, Alice, go drink some water. The place is called Colonia & Co. And if you are there, it's incredible. The only thing I could really eat on the menu was sweet potato gnocchi, and I'm not completely sure it was fully gluten-free, but it didn't make me feel too sick or anything, so I wasn't mad about it, and it was delicious. It was delicious. It was so good. So we had some coffee, had some food, and then we actually wanted to go back to the mall that was right on the ocean. We went to this mall to outfit me when my luggage was stolen. It's a bit of a walk from Barranco, but we decided to take an Uber back. At the mall, there were just a couple of little things that we wanted to get, and I actually needed to get another suitcase. Shannon wanted to get another suitcase as well because we had bought a lot of souvenirs and wanted to buy even more. So we headed back to the mall. It was a beautiful walk. It really, really was quite stunning, and of course I'll show some pictures. I don't remember exactly, I don't think I bought that much at the mall that time, but I did buy these two hearts. I have a thing for hearts. You can't really see any right now, but I bought these two hearts that I really, really love. Hearts are big in Peru. They're just, yeah, they're just gorgeous. Anyways, so I bought these two hearts. We hung out at the mall for a little bit, bought a few things, and then, like I say, we took an Uber back to the hostel. We were pretty tired still. We had had an early morning flight. That long walk kind of took us out, and so we went down into that ravine area again and had a beautiful dinner at a restaurant down there. We had dinner at Javier's. It was gorgeous. It was the food, my whole mouth just filled with saliva. It was a beautiful meal. And there was a cat there that the waiters kept pressuring Patricia into adopting because she was up for adoption, called Choo Choo. She was so cute. She was so cute. She hung out with us the entire meal. She was very, very sweet. After that, we walked back to the hostel and crawled into bed because we were pretty exhausted. The next day, we did a lot of shopping. We did a lot of shopping, so we had a plan. We had breakfast and coffees at the hotel, and then we took an Uber to the Indian market. The Indian market is also in Miraflores, or kind of like just maybe on the outskirts of Miraflores, And it's just basically a big, it's just a big market, just like we went to in Cusco. It had a lot of woven goods and people just selling a whole bunch of stuff. So there were things that we bought there that we didn't want to take with us, that we didn't want to pick up in Cusco, just due to the weight and everything in our bags. And we just wanted to explore and see if there was anything, you know, special that we wanted to pick up there. There are a couple of big markets in that area. So there's the Indian market, and then there's also, I think there's another market literally called the Incan market, but they all sell similar things, right? I got a t-shirt that says Peru. I got 2 pillow covers. I got a burgundy one and a black one, and I love them. And I got a lot of my gifts there too. I got gifts for my niece and nephew while I was there. Yeah, just a couple of other things. And then we did go over to the Incan market as well, because in the Incan market, there was a stall for the cacao, 2 very different things. Cacao museum, which we also visited in Cusco. But we didn't want to buy chocolate in Cusco and then go to the Amazon, and which was smart because the Amazon was 30 plus Celsius every single day. So we bought that in Lima. We spent a lot of money at the chocolate shop, but honestly, I'm sad I didn't buy more because it was so good. And they don't sell things online. Trust me, I looked. It's the best chocolate that I have ever eaten in my life. So we spent a lot of time exploring around there, and then we walked to this other historic site in Lima. It is technically also in Miraflores. We walked down this big, beautiful pathway right in the middle of the two major roads, but it was just covered in trees, and it was absolutely gorgeous. So we stopped and got a drink along the way, and then we headed to, and again, my Spanish is not good, so I'm just gonna, forgive me, but I'm gonna try. Huaca Puclana. It's a clay pyramid that's located in Miraflores. It is older than the Incan society. It is very cool. We didn't go in and explore it, but we walked around the entire thing, and I'm gonna just tell you a little bit about it. The name means sacred place for games, so there must have been some sort of games played there. I don't know. There's not a lot of information that I could find online, but let me do what I can. Served as an important ceremonial and administrative area for the local Peruvian culture. It was built between 200 and 700 AD, and it's actually 7 different terraces. I'm gonna actually read a little bit from the Wikipedia article, so bear with me here. It says, with the intended purpose of having the elite clergymen who politically governed several valleys in the area express their complete religious power and ability to control the use of all the natural water resources, saltwater and freshwater of the zone, a great pyramid was constructed. As a whole, the structure is surrounded by a plaza or central square that borders the outer limits and by a large structured wall dividing it into 2 separate sections. In one section, there were benches and evidence of deep pits where offerings of fish and other marine life took place in order to attain the favor of the gods. The other is an administration area. This area contains various small clay structures and huts made of adobe, and some walls still stand. That's crazy. Whose functions seem to be to act as the courtyards and patios of the enclosure. Other remains have been uncovered belonging to the Wari culture, 500 to 1000 AD, which was a direct influence on the Lima culture society towards the end of its time period. And then it says, of particular note are the remains of the Señor de los Uncas, the Lord of the Uncas, which belonged to the first tomb within the ceremonial center to have been discovered completely intact. This tomb holds 3 separate burial shrouds containing the remains of 3 adults, 2 of which have masks and those of a sacrificed child. Wow. So there you go. Like I say, we did not actually explore it itself, but we walked around it. And it was quite a beautiful day actually for this too, so it was lovely. After that, we popped by some shops again on our way back to Miraflores and purchased a few more things. And then we actually walked through the park that has all of the cats in it that I would have told you about in my first video about Lima in Miraflores, the park that is dedicated to the cats. Kennedy Park. Just around the corner from Kennedy Park is actually Molly's Irish Pub, and for some reason, I don't know why, we decided to go to the Irish Pub. So apparently I wasn't with them because I was sick, but the girls went to the Irish Pub in Cusco as well. And if you go from one or the other and you say, and you're able to like provide your receipt, they'll give you a free drink. But we didn't know that, so we didn't get a free drink. But we had a nice time at the pub, and then we headed around the corner. So right at the edge of the corner of Park Kennedy is actually Peru Hop. And if you recall, we did our trip to Paracas and Huacachina with Peru Hop, but they also do other tours that leave from this area. They'll do walking tours of different districts. And so we wanted to do a walking tour of Barranco and actually learn about all of the artwork, etc. So we did this walking tour with Peru Hop. You should reserve a ticket. We didn't, but they were okay with it. So they actually help you get on like the right public transit and make sure everyone gets on all together, and then you are on this awfully crowded public transit to get back to Barranco, but that's okay. And then from there we had about a 3-hour walking tour, maybe 2.5-hour walking tour, where she told us a lot about the history, a lot about the artwork. She told us so much, and she did the tour in both English and Spanish, which was really, really nice. And at the end of the tour, they actually give you a little pisco sour, which was delicious. And yeah, it was a really, really great tour. We wrongly believed that there was some sort of a food thing going on at our hostel, so we left the group right after we had our shots, and only to discover that the food thing that we thought was happening that night was actually happening the next day. So we ended up back at the hostel, and the girls were quite tired. I needed a little bit of food, so we had just a couple more drinks and some food, and then toddled off to bed. The next day was our last day in Lima, which was really sad, honestly. But we decided to just walk around the area again. It's so beautiful. We went back to Colonia and Co for breakfast. Again, I had the sweet potato gnocchi. It was delicious. And some coffees. And then, did we have coffee? I don't think we did, because then we went to Starbucks. But we revisited some of the places that we had gone on the tour the night before. Oh, I forgot to mention, one of the big artists in Peru is Jade Rivera, and his art is just exquisite. On the walking tour, we went to one of his museums, and I'll show a lot of his artwork here, but it was extraordinary. If I had the means and the finances, I definitely would have purchased some of his statues in particular. I was very, very taken with them. But you can also see a lot of his artwork in Barranco. I'm sure you can see it in other areas of Peru as well, or specifically Lima, but in Barranco, I mean, it was everywhere, and it's really extraordinary stuff. It has a lot to do with nature. In this area, he has two museums actually, and we went to both of them. So we went to the one on the walking tour, and then we went back into that little ravine area. That's where the one from the walking tour is. And we're kind of exploring a little bit. We went down to the water again because we wanted to see it in the daytime. We'd only seen it at night. And while we were there, we ran into our two friends from the Amazon. We were on a tour, like in a group. We did all of our excursions with the same group, and our group was quite small. It was just 5 of us. So it was myself, my 2 friends, and then a couple. And the couple was from the UK. Well, they were going to school in the UK. He actually was from Lima, and she's actually from Australia. But they were going to school, and they met in Manchester. Anyways, but a beautiful, beautiful couple. They just happened to walk up from the beach, and we were like, hold on a second. So that was cool to run into them in Lima, of all places, after seeing them in the Amazon. I mean, Lima is 18 million people. Like, what are the odds that we would be there at the same time in that exact spot? So the girl told us about this beautiful museum that we had to go to, and let me tell you, I cannot stop telling people about this place. So we decided to walk to it. Walking through Barranco is beautiful, not even just specifically in this ravine, but all over the place. Like I say, because of all of the old architecture, the colonial houses, like it's extraordinary. So we went to this art museum, art gallery, and I swear I could have spent all of my money there. Like it was huge. And there were all of these different rooms with different, I guess you would say like different vendors' items. Now, it's not like there were different vendors themselves in all of this, you know, in all of these locations, but anything across the sun, like there were kids' books, there was jewelry, like nice jewelry. There were like little tchotchkes, there were clothing there. And then there was also, in the middle of it was a cafe that you could obviously eat at. And the whole place was so exquisite. I'm not going to say the name right, but I'll write it down here. I'm gonna try. I follow them on Instagram and they show a lot of their stuff, and you can buy their stuff after the fact. So if you follow them on Instagram, you can then like reach out to them via WhatsApp, which is what everyone uses in Peru to connect. And you can actually purchase their stuff and they'll send it to you, which is very cool. But it's Didalo Arte y Artesania. Again, that's not right. But I only bought 2 things there, which I thought was, I was pretty impressed with myself. I bought this little heart, because again, obsessed with hearts. I bought this little heart. I love it. And I bought this little bird guy. But it was very impossible to, like, it was so hard to pick things to buy. It was so hard. Like, it was just, I wanted to buy everything. I wanted to buy everything. I know Patricia got some earrings. I don't know that Shannon bought anything there, but yeah, I could have spent the whole day there just looking at everything. It was so big. But we were running out of time. We had to get back because we had to get back and go to the airport because our flight out the next day was so early. We decided to leave Barranco in the middle of the afternoon and go to the airport hotel. So that's what we did. We walked back to the hostel, and while we were walking back, we passed another Jade Rivera art gallery, so we popped in just to see. The one in the ravine is actually bigger and has more of his things, but I believe in this secondary one they actually have, you could go upstairs and like visit kind of a curated museum about his life, which was kind of cool. He's a living artist. He's still with us. I think he's only in his 40s actually, but yeah, you could see kind of some information about his life and how he grew up and all of that jazz. So we did not go and do that extra tour, but we just popped in to check it out. We went back to our hostel, and the lovely gentleman from a couple of days previously picked us up and drove us the hour back to the airport. We stayed at the airport hotel, which was quite nice. Actually, they had a little pool. I don't have a swimming suit, so I didn't partake in that, but the girls did. And yeah, it was just a nice, relaxing evening. We had we had dinner at the hotel. Had a decent night's sleep, and then the next day we got up super early. I think we were at the airport for 4 o'clock, something like that. That feels right. We got to know that airport pretty well. We were in and out of it so much, but it saved time, and flying around Peru is pretty cheap, actually. It's not that expensive. My brain just shut off. It's almost midnight. It wasn't a problem to like fly in and out of it because, like I say, it was pretty cheap to fly. We flied. Okay, I need to end this. We flew with LATAM, LATAM, every single time. I think they have another airline in their area, but we flew LATAM every single time, and it was good. It was good service and etc. So yeah, the one thing I will say, in Peru, you can fly with liquids. They don't care about that. Liquids, gels, etc. However, if you're leaving Peru and going to the States, or Canada, I don't know about other countries, they will confiscate your liquids. So like I had bought a morning Fanta. I bought a breakfast Fanta that I was going to drink on the plane, and they confiscated it. They do a second security check at your gate, and they will take anything that is liquid. Now, I will say they don't have like an x-ray machine there, and it's not like they opened up my entire backpack and like searched through it. So if I had put it on the bottom, I don't think it would have been an issue. Like, I don't think they would have known. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it's pretty easy to bring things on that are liquids. Obviously, if you buy things at the duty-free store and you have like the receipt, then you're fine. They'll obviously let that stuff through. But yeah, beverages, if you buy like a water or something, they're gonna confiscate it. So either try hiding it at the bottom of your bag or just know that you won't get through with it. That was a bit of a surprise to us, and we were tired and annoyed, I'll be honest. The flight back was uneventful. Patricia got her luggage first and headed out, and then Shannon got hers, but she waited for me. She was staying one extra night in Toronto and then flying home the next day because she's from the Maritimes. But I got home, said hi to my baby girl Chloe, and that was it. That was the trip. There were a few other things that happened on the last day that were pretty great, pretty special. I'm not gonna get into that on here. If you know, you know. That's all I'm gonna say about that. It was a phenomenal trip. I am happy to answer any questions that you might have, except what that last thing was. Offer any tips and tricks. I am already planning another trip. I think I probably mentioned, to Peru. I want to fly into La Paz in Bolivia actually, and then spend a couple of days there, go to Lake Titicaca, and then back to Cusco to actually explore the Sacred Valley, which I didn't get to do. I'd love to see a lot of things in there, and yeah, I would like to spend more time in Cusco and that area. And then I do want to go back to Barranco, just because it's a beautiful, beautiful space. Because of the elevation of Cusco and Titicaca, I actually might fly into Lima. It just depends on the flights. So I might fly into Lima and then head to Cusco first. I think I would rather acclimatize in Cusco because I know the hotel there that I would stay at, and I know the area. And you just got to spend a couple of down days there. You go explore, and then I want to take the train from Cusco to Titicaca, because it's absolutely exquisite. I've seen video of it and it's beautiful. And then spend a couple of days on a floating island in Titicaca and then head to La Paz. That's probably what I'll end up doing. And I'll probably take Peru hop from Titicaca to La Paz, because you can do that. Even though it's Peru hop, they will take you to La Paz. I'm losing my voice and it is almost midnight, so I'm gonna let you guys go. But thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, comment Peru hop, why not? And yeah, I will see you in the next one. I'm gonna try really hard to get you guys some Christmas content, even though Christmas is the busiest time of the year for me work-wise. I do want to show you guys some really cool things in Toronto around this time. So yeah, all right. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe. It really does help me out and help my channel out. I really want to make it to 500 subscribers as soon as possible. The goal is 2025. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's okay. We're just going to try hard, and I'm going to just keep plugging forward. So like I say in probably every video, I really do enjoy making these kinds of videos, days in my life, etc. And I love, yeah, I love showing you guys what I get up to in spite of the pain, etc., you know? But I also do find trips like this very healing for my soul. It's nice to remind yourself of the beauty in the world when things feel really, really challenging and hard. Yeah. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Make it a great day.